Welcome, everybody, back to Tuesday night on the PPR channel. I am your host, Ezekiel Kincaid, and you are in store for another episode of Southern Discomfort. We are streaming live now on the PPR channel, also on the yobaby channel, on my Facebook, on Dustin's Twitter, and on my Twitter. So we want to welcome everybody who is tuning in from all of these different locations. Thank you for coming to join us tonight. Hey, Crossover, welcome to the chat. Glad that you are here with us. Now, those of you who actually, read the caption on the videos on the live stream may have noticed that we are taking a break from our series in the Necronomicon to bring you a very special guest who is going to be with us tonight. And I'm going to introduce him here in a little bit. Right now, I've got him locked down in the basement. You know us horror authors, right? We love being down in the dark, dingy places. So I've got him locked down in the basement there, letting him marinate in the dark for a little bit, so that when he comes up here, he can just let loose on you. Hey, Cece, welcome to the chat. And hey, Dustin, I see you in there, buddy. Glad that y'all are hanging out with us tonight. Bethany's going to be joining me tonight here. I'm not sure when, but she will be up here. And for those of you who have missed it, we have made Bethany her very own intro video that when she gets up here, I will be sure to play it for you. Now, I know we're going to have a lot of new people tuning in tonight. We always do whenever we have a special guest joining us. Let me tell you a little bit about our show on Tuesday nights, because we have two that I host, and we also have one that Dustin does called Hauntings and Beyond, that he spearheads. So on Tuesday nights on Southern Discomfort, we do a little bit of everything. We've got special teachings that we do, like we're going through the Necronomicon right now. We do haunted locations. We do live investigations. We do horror movie reviews. We have special guests on the show. And we are the only horror paranormal channel that has sock puppets. Yes, you heard me right. We have sock puppets that will make their appearance sometimes on this show, depending on how bad we want to annoy Bethany. Hey, Mo, welcome to the chat. Glad that you are here hanging out with us on Tuesday evening. So thank you for being here with us. I just got a text from Bethany. She's going to be on here in just a minute. So yeah, Tuesday nights is kind of a little bit of everything. I kind of have a script, but usually, we end up chasing rabbits, but we eventually get back on. Thursday nights on the channel is a little more focused on spirituality. It's called Immortal Shadows, and what I do right now, I'm teaching through the book of Revelation. So we will be back doing that Thursday night. And then Dustin's show that he spearheads, Hauntings and Beyond, is really a little bit more paranormal focus, but it's kind of like Tuesday nights. We'll kind of do anything on that show if we feel like it. And this Friday on Hauntings and Beyond, Dustin, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe I saw that we are doing the Thomas House, talking about our Thomas House investigation, and that's going to be at noon, I believe. So, Dustin, if I am wrong about that, just go ahead and correct it in the chat. Okay, I'm right. Awesome. So, yes. So, Thursday night, 8 p.m. Central, we'll be doing Immortal Shadows. Friday at 12 Central, 1 Eastern, we will be talking about the Thomas House experience our investigation there with Elite Vixen Paranormal back in December for their fundraising event. However, tonight we are going to have a very special guest with us. We have horror author Rowland Bercy Jr. He's going to come on here in just a little bit, and he's going to tell you about a new book that is going to be dropping this Friday, January 26th. He's also going to be talking about some of his other writings that he has out. And because he is a fellow native Louisianian like myself, we are going to be throwing at you some of our favorite urban legends and Louisiana folklore for you to dive into. We each have a few things picked out, some of our favorite ones. So you're going to get to hear from Rowland about his, and then I'll tell you about some of mine. So that's what we have coming up on the show. Now, I will say this, okay? The cover of his new book that he has coming out with Carver Pike and Lucas Mangum, Haunted Highways from Crystal Lake Publishing. Dustin, it has an RV on the cover of it. Now, for those of you who haven't been around the show, we love RVs simply because Bethany hates them. And so our whole plan is we are getting at some point one of the trashiest RVs that we can find in order to travel around and do our investigations in. Hey, PW, glad that you are here in the chat. We missed Thursday's show, so I wasn't able to do that. It was my oldest daughter's birthday. So we had that going on. But yes, Dustin, there is an RV on the cover. So for those of you in the chat knowing how much that we all love RVs, that should be the selling point that's good enough for you. Hey, it's got an RV on the cover. It's horror. Get it. But what's even more impressive is the amazing stories that are in it. This book has been getting great reviews from some really reliable reviewers. So we're going to talk all about that here in just a few minutes. And I'm kind of waiting another minute to see if Bethany's gonna hop on. PW, I know that you want an RV for real. I do too. And the RVs that we are kind of talking about here, let me just show you some of these high-class vehicles that Dustin and I have picked out. And this is kind of what we're going for. Now, it started with this piece of vintage equipment, 1985 Winnebago. Bethany said that this was too trashy. Now, here's what you'll learn on the show, and you'll see it in action when Bethany gets up here. If Bethany says that she hates something, you can guarantee that it's going to be on the show. If she says something disgusts her, or she doesn't like it, or she's scared of it, you can guarantee Dustin is going to make a video about it. So she complained about this one. So Dustin and I went and we found a better looking RV. It's this one right here. This is the one that is, I mean, look at that thing. It's ventilated great. And I mean, you can even see that it has insulation. Now this, I know, Rowland, you can hear me down there in the basement. This is what I would love to travel down haunted highways in, is this thing right here. Nothing screams you are about to die than riding around in this fine piece of equipment. Now, we realized this one was going to be too small for all of us to take on our investigation. So we've kind of upgraded to this one. This has a lookout point on top that you can stand up there with your binoculars and look out for Bigfoot in case he's anywhere around. It also has kind of like Spaceballs. Reminds me of that movie right there. So that's kind of the evolution of the RVs that we have had on this show. So it really gave me great pleasure to see the RV on the cover of Rowland and them's book. Hey, Kenneth, welcome to the chat. Thank you for hanging out with us. I appreciate it. So without further ado, I am going to open the basement door and I am going to bring up our special guest for tonight. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Bercy Jr. up here to Southern Discomfort. Hey, man, how are you?
Hey, I'm over here cracking up at you. That's how I am. That was excellent.
Yeah, man. I told you we like to have a good time on here, joke around. And the whole RV thing, like as soon as I saw the cover on the new book, I was like, oh man, this is gonna be great.
Yeah,
this is gonna be excellent. So
actually, the cover is the stories inside. So Carver's book is about an old couple in an RV. If you look behind it, there's birds flying. That's my story, BIRDS.
Yep.
And if you look on the bumper, you'll see two bumper stickers. One is the devil and one is Dracula. That's Lucas's story.
Yeah. Absolutely perfection on that, man.
That was fun.
So before we get started, I just want to let everybody know, you may see my camera going off at times. That's because I'm going to be pulling links for Rowland's books and putting them there in the chat for y'all to click on and save. So just FYI, if you see my screen go blank, that is what I am doing. But to get us kicked off, Rowland, everybody, whenever we have special guests, they always love hearing about kind of what was your first encounter with horror, or anything related in that field that really kind of spurred you on in this and kind of led you to actually wanting to write about it?
Well, probably the more extreme side of things, it would be when I first started reading Graham Masterton.
Oh, love him.
Oh my God, he's so good. And the story that stuck with me, and the story I started with was, I believe, Master of Lies. And there was a part where he nailed kids to the wall and set them on fire. And I was like, there's freaking books out here like that. Because before I would read like Dean Koontz or Stephen King. They were good authors, but they were not extreme authors. So when I got into Graham Masterton, that just kind of led me down a path that is twisted and dark, and I'm here for it.
Yeah. Now, when did you kind of first try your hand at horror fiction? Can you tell us what that was like and kind of what led you to it?
As far as writing it?
Yes.
Actually, yeah, I can. So I had the idea for my story in the back of my head. I don't know if I'm sure you've seen It's Alive. The older.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, I love it. That's one of the creepiest movies in the world to me. So any story about anything small like It's Alive or Trilogy of Terror or Don't Be Afraid of the Dark, those things creep me the hell out. So I had the story for this unfortunate in the back of my head for years, and I never thought I would be a writer. I would never even thought I would attempt it, but I was like, ooh, that would be a good story. And something happened in my life where I was kind of crushed. I was sad because I had to let go of two people in my life that I had been friends with for years and years and years. And I kind of need a distraction. So I was sitting around one day and I'm like, I'm going to see if I can write this damn story. And I started writing it out. I didn't know what the heck I was doing because this was my first book. I didn't know any authors or anything. And a year later, Abortion was born, pun intended. And then I figured out the rest of it, like how to get the editing done and get the cover art. And so that's what started it, like a heartache. And I needed a distraction. So that's how I got started writing.
All right. Now, speaking of that story, why don't you tell us a little bit about Abortion and kind of the plot, what readers could expect from it. And I'm going to pull the link while you're telling us about it.
Oh, for sure. So it's it's alive. It's a story about this baby, deformed, mutilated monster baby that wants to get home to its parents. So I thought about, what about a story like that in the first trimester? And I was like, oh, that'd be freaking creepy. First of all, because it's little and crazy. And so that's how the story evolved. And that's what it's kind of about. A lady who had a kind of a late term abortion. And then the baby lived, and it was a big mango pile of goop. And it kind of had a connection with the mom. And so it wanted to find her. And it's the story about the fetus trying to get back to the mom and then what happens afterwards. I won't tell you too much. It's an interesting story. It's fun. It's exciting. A lot of people who read it said they've never read anything like that. I never read anything like that. And I know it was met with a lot of controversy. Because one, I'm writing about abortion. That's horrible. Yeah. I'm a man. And a lot of people feel like, maybe that's a subject you shouldn't touch on. But extreme horror is all subjects you shouldn't touch on. All of it is disturbing. All of it is taboo. All of it is just freaky and weird. And while writing it, I didn't let any of my personal beliefs on the subject come into the story, because that's not what the story is about. It's just a story to be to entertain or discuss or just make people laugh or enjoy it. So that's what happened.
Yeah. Now, was that the story that won an award?
Yeah. Can you believe?
Tell us about that.
First book, my debut novella, won the 2020 American Fiction Awards and placed as a finalist in the 2019 International Fiction Awards.
Yeah.
And for your first book to win an award, I was like, what the hell? I'm doing this. I can do this. I'm an author. So
yeah, man, if that's not a confirmation that you need to be doing it, right? I don't know what is.
So surprised and happy, and just it motivated me to write more. I didn't think I would write anything else after Abortion. This is just something I wanted to do. But then I was like, I like witches. I'm going to do a story about a witch. So my second book was Payback as a Witch, which is actually set in Slidell, Louisiana. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to pull the link for that one.
Oh, cool. Thanks.
Get it up there.
Oh, and I want to say hi to everybody in the chat. I never done a live thing like this before, so it's kind of interesting. A little intimidating, but it is what it is.
Look, this is me and all family. All family here, and when you're here, you're family with us.
Thank you.
So I just put Payback is a Witch. I put the link for that one in there.
Witch Pride. I saw somebody wrote that in the chat. I love that. Paranormal Witch Pride. I'll tell you it's kind of a secret about Payback is the Witch. So it's about a mother and daughter. The daughter gets attacked by a gang of thugs, and then they set out for revenge on the people who attacked the daughter. So I wanted to do something with spells. I love Dungeons and Dragons. I'm a freaking nerd. I play it every Saturday with my friends. So all of the spells in Payback as a Witch are actual D&D spells, which I kind of twisted a little bit. Like in D&D, you need certain components to cast a spell. So in order to make them have the components handy, the mom was really good with creating jewelry. So she would create bracelets and put in elements that she needed for the spell, or necklaces or earrings. So that was a fun fact, that all of the spells are actual D&D spells.
Yeah, that is cool, man. I like that.
I get to incorporate two of my favorite things. I love witches because my favorite episode, my favorite American Horror Story was Coven.
Yeah.
So anything about witches, I'm like down for it. And then my love for D&D, I kind of wanted to combine the both of them.
Yeah. Now, you know what else I love about what you do, because I do it too. Being from Louisiana, you set a lot of your stories down here, and you draw off of stuff, and we'll hit on some of those urban legends in a little bit.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess you're kind of like me, like living down here and being born here in the atmosphere.
Yeah.
It plays a big influence on us as horror authors, doesn't it?
Oh, it's beautiful. I mean, it's like we have such history and the legends surrounding us and the environment. Like a lot of my stories are set in Slidell, Louisiana, which I know you know well. So it's set in the bayou, and that in it of itself is a creepy ass location.
Yeah.
I used to go walk through the swamps with my cousins when I was in Slidell. I would spend months there in the summertime. And I was telling the story earlier, we would go so far into the bayou and just traipsing for hours. You don't hear any cars. You don't see any houses. And my cousins, they all knew the area because they were from out there. One time we were walking and they wanted to show us this old graveyard. And it was so amazing. I still have the image in my head. I guess it was maybe a family graveyard or something like that. They had above tomb crypts and everything. And we walked up to one of them, and it was all crushed in. And I could have swore I saw freaking bones in it. I'm not about to reach in it, first of all. As a kid, so it just kind of freaked me out, but it also excited me. I was like, ooh, this is fucking awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, no, there's nothing like, for people who've never done it, there's nothing like being in the swamps at night.
Ooh,
in Louisiana. Like, it is just a totally different experience, totally different atmosphere. You got to try it for yourself.
Just avoid the waterways. My biggest fears of dying is eaten by a shark or eaten by an alligator. And there are too many damn alligators. So not only like you deal with the environment, which is also creepy, but then you have all these creepy crawlies around you, like alligators and water moccasins and every creepy thing you could think of in the swamp.
Yeah, everything down here wants to kill you, pretty much.
It wants to kill you, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Allie, welcome to the chat. I'm glad that you are here with us. We've got Rowland Bercy Jr., horror author, here with us, and we're talking about his writings, and then we're going to be talking about a little Louisiana folklore here in just a minute. Now, you've got some more stories. I'm going to go look through the links here and post some more of these in there for people. Now you've got one pre-Thanksgiving stress disorder.
Oh yeah, that was fun. So if you look at the title, it's actually PTSD. Like if your first letter of each word.
Yeah.
That was fun. I was invited into an anthology, and it had to be like holidays, so it was like Christmas, Thanksgiving, and I decided to go with Thanksgiving. And I'm not a vegetarian. I eat meat, but the main protagonist in the story is, and she loves turkeys, and she lives in, what is it? Oh shit, I can't remember the state, but they have the most turkey slaughter farms in the world. Like I can't remember the state. But she lives close to one of these slaughter farms, and they treat the turkeys horrible. They're way over capacity. They have two boys, they're twins, and they use the turkeys for BB gun and practice and using baseball bats on the poor turkeys. And the mom, she's obsessed with trying to come up with the best turkey recipe she can. So the main protagonist is Rebecca, and so she wants to dish out some revenge on this family and kind of get back for the poor turkeys. So in the story, she winds up killing each family member the same way they kill turkeys for Thanksgiving, which was a lot of fun because I had to do a lot of research on like how do they do it, and you'd be surprised. It was kind of horrible trying to do the research, but it was fun writing the story because they got killed in the same way they killed the turkeys.
Yeah. I know the big joke with horror authors is Oh yeah, his shirt. PW
Yes.
said she likes your shirt. His story. Yeah, the joke is that, you know, don't ever look at a horror author's search history.
Oh,
I mean,
Lord.
the things we research for stories, and the stuff that we have to look up because we want to get it factual, right? I feel that. And now the other thing I wanted to piggyback off with what you said, right? Like horror, especially extreme horror, like that's what we do, is deal with the uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
We deal with the taboo issues. We go dive head deep into the stuff that nobody else wants to touch or talk about, and that's what makes this genre so unique.
Yeah.
And I think you know, a lot of people don't understand that. But the other thing as well, and what you mentioned too, is about not putting your personal beliefs in a
Mm-hmm.
story, and that is a key thing, because you have people out there that they will read a story that an author has written, and they will automatically think that the author believes that thing, or that they approve of this. I mean, that is a lot of flack that I went under, and am still under to this
Yeah.
day, being a pastor, and a
Oh.
minister in writing horror, is that, you know, just because we as authors write something and write characters and put things in our stories, it does not mean that we morally approve
No,
of
absolutely not.
of these things. And so it's always bears mentioning, and I try to always emphasize that horror is a genre that deals with taboo stuff, and just because we write about it doesn't mean we approve of it.
Yeah, I am not my story. I don't. God, I'm a nice guy. I'm like this one of the. I try to be one of the sweetest guys you're ever gonna meet.
Yeah.
I'm gonna always support you. I'm gonna love you. I'm gonna give you hugs and kisses or whatever. But I write some pretty fucked up stuff.
Yeah.
Me. But that's not who I am at my heart. That is just me entertaining. That's all.
Right.
And there are people who like to read it. So
Yeah.
let's give it to them.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
So let's now talk about this new one that you've got coming out with Crystal Lake, with Carver and Lucas.
Yes.
I'm going to grab the link for that and put it in the chat.
Yeah.
This is the one that I was telling y'all has the RV for the cover, and that is going to be dropping January 26th on Friday. I can't wait to read this one, man. I'm going to be grabbing it as soon as it drops.
I think the paperback and hardbacks are actually available now via Amazon, but the Kindle version comes out on the 26th.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
So yeah, paperback is available now. If you do Kindle, you have to wait till Friday.
Yeah.
That I just popped the link in there for y'all in chat, and anybody else lurking and watching. Go ahead. You can look at that and check out that cover. So go ahead and tell us a little bit about the story, or the novella Birds that you have in this one, and kind of what inspired it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, easy. So yeah, mine is BIRDS, and there's a reason why it's that way. So I'm not saying, I'm calling it a 2023 reimagining of Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds. I asked somebody, do I sound pompous by saying that? But then they told me no. I was like, but it's kind of a retelling of an old story in today's terms. And the inspiration behind the story came from, like, if you ever go to certain supermarket parking lots at dusk, there's hundreds, if not thousands, of these blackbirds flying all around. It's the creepiest thing ever. And I wanted to research on why they do that, first of all. So I thought it was, I don't know, I didn't know why it was, but I found out that it's because they congregate there because there's food options available. But it still just seems weird because it's only certain stores that it happens at. So that's what the story is about. It's about a group of friends. All of the stories in this collection are road trip stories. And mine is about a group of friends who they're going to Slidell, Louisiana, to spend time at a waterfront cabin and to go exploring the Honey Island Swamp.
Honey Island Swamp.
Yes, yeah. So, and they stop at this store, and this store has a unique security system. So without giving too much away, that's what the story is about. They steal from the store, and they pay the price.
Yeah.
So it involves the creepy birds that I see all the time, but then also it has a nice twist, which is a lot of fun, that involves a I guess it's not an urban legend, but what do you call it? Where conspiracy theory.
Okay.
So conspiracy theory. So yeah, it's a lot. That was actually one of my favorite stories to write so far. And I don't know why I had such a good time writing it. Well, yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, man. Some stories they hit differently when you're writing them. You can't explain it. It just hits differently for you.
Yeah. I had so much fun writing that. I have another story called My Supernatural Ex-Girlfriend, about a guy who lives in a world where supernatural beings and humans coexist. And there's a dating app called Strange Love, and he's tired of dating humans, so he joins Strange Love to meet an supernatural being to date. And he winds up meeting 3 different ones: a succubus, a werewolf, and a penanggalan, which is a Malaysian vampire type entity. Her head separates from her body, and with it comes the lungs and the stomach and the intestines. And one of them happens to be totally bonkers, and he wants to break up with her, but she doesn't want to break up so easy, and kind of chaos ensues. But that was another story. Even though it was really short, I had a good time writing. It was a lot of fun. It just hit different.
Yeah, that one sounds great. Is that one out?
That one is in an anthology right now, but okay. It's called No Anesthetic 2.
No Anesthetic 2.
Yeah, but I'm working on actually releasing it. It's super short. It's only 7,000 words, so I don't think a paperback is going to be beneficial or even people are going to be interested in it because it's so short. So I'm actually going to probably just release it as a Kindle and also audiobook.
Yeah.
I love audiobooks. I live for audiobooks, and I like doing mine with like dramatized, where it has background music and sound effects. So I'm working on that, which I should hopefully have that released in about maybe a month or so.
Awesome.
Yeah,
that sounds great. I'm telling you, people who watch this show will eat that up.
Oh, nice.
You'll have to let me know when that one's going to be, when you're going to release it solo on Kindle.
For sure. I wish I could share the cover with you because the cover is so fucking amazing. I love it.
Yeah, let me know when you have stuff like that, because that, they're used to that with my Southern Discomfort series. So they're used to the short stories, the 7,000 to 10,000 word stuff. So once you get that, let me know, man, and I will post the link on our show at some point.
Yeah, I'll share the cover with you when we're done because I love how the cover turned out. It's so much fun.
Okay, yeah, nice. I can't wait to see that. Hey, Triple X lady, thank you for coming and hanging out with us. So Dustin, the guy who started the channel, says he definitely wants an autographed book from you.
I just saw that. That's so awesome. Hey, Dustin, send me a message. I'll send you a copy.
So before we switch over to talking about some of our urban legends, I just want to give everybody in the chat a chance to, if you have any questions for Rowland about anything horror or writing related to any of the stories and books that he just mentioned, go ahead and pop them in the chat right now, and we can hit those before we transition into talking about the urban legend stuff.
Oh no, the pressure. I
So
don't like to.
we'll give a minute and see if anybody has anything.
It's okay.
Yeah. I mean, you did a great job explaining it all.
Oh, thank you.
So they may not have any questions.
Hey, that's fine. What got Rowland into writing? Oh, Triple X was in here. Hi. I was telling them earlier that what got me into writing was a heartache, a heartbreak. I had to let two people go that was like really special to me, and that kind of broke me down for a little bit. Like I was so sad, but I needed a distraction from like kind of the pain and the headache and the heartache. So I had a story in mind, and I decided to one day see if I can make it happen. And a year later, I had finished my first novella.
And the rest is history.
The rest is history. I'm an author now. What the hell? And who would have ever thought? Like, I'm 53. I didn't see this as something that I would ever do in my life. So, thank you so much, Allie. I'm so surprised that even when you're later in life, I don't consider myself later in life. I'm a big ass kid at heart, but even when you're older, you can still find things that interest you and things that make you happy and make you, just turns your life around and gives you a whole new direction. So it was amazing.
Yep. Well, I know those who have read your stuff as well as me, like, I'm glad you took that chance and went out on a limb and did that. As you've blessed the horror community with some great stories. And people don't realize as an author, like, it takes a lot of guts to put your stuff out there, man.
Oh, dude, I was so nervous. Me, Rowland, an author, I wrote a story. What the hell? Yeah. So, and especially with it being abortion, which is, like we talked about, crazy taboo. The title, somebody was like, you should change the title to something else. I was like, no, I'm nervous as hell to release this, especially with the title, with the cover art. But I'm so happy I stuck to it because it just opened up different avenues for me, which I'm amazed about.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, one of the things I want to tell people this too. One of the things that makes indie horror so great is within kind of the traditional framework of the big 5 publishing houses. Like, there are certain things that they won't touch. There are certain things that they won't publish. There are certain things that are too taboo. And it's almost, in a lot of ways, it's kind of there's this mainstream formulistic thing that they want. And if you deviate outside of that, then good luck ever getting picked up by an agent or a big publisher. Now, the thing that makes indie horror so beautiful is that now you do have some publishers that won't take certain things, which are understandable. But within good taste and context, you can explore anything in indie horror, and we are allowed to go places that traditional horror and mainstream isn't. And that is the beauty. Like, horror is all about taking risk. And I think that's one of the frustrations, and Rowland, you can chime in on this if you want to. I think that's one of the frustrations with horror fans and a lot of the modern horror movies is they don't take risk. If you want to see something that takes a risk, foreign horror is where it's at.
Yes. You're right about that. Modern horror is watered down. It's watered down for the masses because a lot of people, that's what they want. And unfortunately, it gets boring. I mean, how many times can I see Jason or Freddy? I'm going to go see it every time because I like them. Yeah. But how many times can you see it? You know what I would love? Like you say, foreign horror is amazing. I would love somebody to make movies out of indie authors' stories.
Absolutely.
Can you imagine? Like Terrifier, that was really good.
Yes.
And I feel like looking at that movie is like a reading an indie novel, extreme horror novel.
You just won everybody over with that because we're huge Art the Clown fans.
Oh yes! Here. Oh my God! Did you see what's gonna happen with the next one?
I cannot wait, man.
Oh, and he tried to go to. I think somebody else wanted to make the film for him. I don't know if you heard this. And after reading the script, they said, "No, we have to cut this. We have to cut that." And he said, "No, I'll do it myself." And I was like, "Fuck yeah, that's what I'm talking about."
Yep. That's what I like about Damien Leone, man. He takes the risk.
Yeah.
We saw that in Terrifier 1, and then definitely in the second one. I can't wait to see what he's got in store for us with the third one, man.
Oh, I'm so excited about this. I'm so excited. And like you say, other foreign horror like Martyrs and what was the other one? Oh, Jesus.
You got Inside.
Oh, that was good. That was a good movie, man. What's the one with a porn star? He used to like an old washed up porn guy. And then
we've talked about that one on the show before when we're talking about extreme ones. The Serbian film.
Yeah, Serbian film. Oh my God. That's crazy.
Yep.
That one part where he was like, newborn porn. I was like, oh my God, what the fuck?
Yeah, it was wild.
Yeah.
And then the latest ones, When Evil Lurks and Talk to Me.
Yeah, that was great. Those are great movies.
So, okay, Dustin. Yeah, when she comes up, you got a second voice greeting. All right, we will play that if she comes up. All right, I didn't see anybody with any questions. Yeah, Dustin mentioned Japanese horror, like absolutely.
Is it one? It was Ichi the Killer, kind of Japanese horror.
Ichi, I think Ichi was Japanese.
Okay, I remember. I think I've seen that one. That was pretty good too.
Yeah, that's another great place that always produces.
Oh yeah,
some great stuff. So we now are going to switch and because we're both Louisiana boys, so we are going to tell you some of our favorite urban legends here in the state. Oh, here comes Bethany. Let me pull her up real quick. Hey, baby.
Hey. What all did I miss?
You missed Rowland's whole talk about all of his works and writings and inspirations and all of that.
Hi, Bethany.
Well, hello, Rowland.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm having a lot of fun. I was telling him this is the first time I've ever done one live like this. There was some jitters, but now they're gone.
Good.
Yeah, and you missed earlier. I was talking about the Dark Tides book that he and Carver and Lucas have coming out with Crystal Lake. It's got an RV on the cover, and so I showed him.
No, we're not doing that. No,
But those RVs that he selected were amazing. So Bethany, I think you should just jump in the RV and go.
Go where? They're not going to run, Rowland. You've seen them. It's just duct tape on wheels.
That's okay. Go as far as you can go, and then you guys are all going to be killed. So it doesn't matter.
Now, Bethany.
Yes.
Dustin has something here for you.
What?
Oh, thank you, Allie.
Okay. Dustin made a recording for you, Bethany.
Oh, boy.
Let's hear it.
Hello, Bethany. How are you?
Yeah, he sent that to me in the middle of the day today. Thank you so much for that, Dustin.
Now, y'all know we cannot have Bethany up here without doing her introduction.
Oh, come on, no.
Here is everything Bethany loves in
No, it's not.
one video. Let's watch it.
Bethany.
I hate that music. I hate the clowns. It's going to give me nightmares. At least it doesn't have the farting horns.
Oh, like this one. Here's Bina.
Hello, Bethany.
It's
Why?
Bina, the farting
clown.
Well, I know what I'm getting Bethany for a Christmas present.
Thank you so much, Rowland.
Clowns on it.
Yes, she loves creepy clowns.
No, I don't. They're scary. Like, this would explain why I've been having nightmares of being in like some smelly cave pit thing with Dustin's voice.
Aww. You hear that, Dustin? You're doing great, man. You're giving her nightmares. Keep it up.
Good work, Dustin.
Hey, Mayhem. Welcome to the chat. We've got Rowland Bercy Jr. here, horror author. He's been talking about his books. And now we are getting ready to start talking about some urban legends. But Bethany, just one more. Dustin wants you to see Tanya's video that he made her.
Okay.
All right.
You need to embrace all that you are. Stare fear in the face. To reach for the stars. Been waiting for this moment, so let it begin. You're unbreakable. Feeling powerful. Nothing's getting in the way. You're unbreakable. You're invincible. Be unbreakable again. Unbreakable.
That's cool.
You there, Bethany?
Yeah, I thought that was pretty. Actually, the one doll looks like Tanya. So actually, I do have a question for you, Rowland.
Yes.
So has there ever been a dream or nightmare that has ever inspired any of your work?
Not inspired, but I do have a recurring dream, which is so unnerving. I have a dream that I'm running, and no matter how hard I feel like I'm running like through mud, and I can't go fast, and I feel like there's something behind me, but also at the same time I know it's not going to catch me. And then another part of the dream, I'm like running, and then I will jump, and I don't like heights. I'll do them. I've skydives and everything. So I jump into the air, and then I go so high, and all of a sudden I'll start crashing down through trees and everything, and I'm kind of grabbing the branches to try and break my fall. And I think when I hit the ground, I'm going to die, and I hit the ground, and I don't die. So it's kind of creepy, but that's the two recurring dreams I have.
I've had one of those like that where you hit the ground and you think you're going to die, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm good.
I'm all right. I lived.
Now, chasing you in that dream could be one of these Louisiana cryptids we're getting ready to talk about.
It could very well be.
So let's
So-
go ahead. Oh, sorry, baby.
So actually, okay, so have any of the urban legends that you guys are about to talk about, has any of that ever inspired either of your works?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I'll let
Absolutely.
you guys go ahead and segue into that.
Absolutely, baby. And you're going to recognize some of these. So, Rowland, why don't you go ahead and present one of the three that you've got? Which one you want to do first?
I'm going to do the Grunch Road Monster first, so
All
we can
right.
talk about your book, which was amazing. I love the twist you put on it because, like, I don't know, the Grunch is not a really well-known urban legend in New Orleans, and there's not a lot of information on it. Some people say it was dwarves that intermingled and then wound up mutating, and other people say it's like a local Louisiana chupacabra. But you gave him a special twist. You actually made him. Did he have wings, right?
I'm trying to think. Yeah.
Yeah, he had wings. And what was your book? Beware the Monster.
Beware of Monster. Yep.
Yeah, so it was fucking awesome. And then again, it was set in the bayou.
Yep.
So the way you had the whole story where he was like trapped in this. Oh, I don't want to give away too much, but trapped. And then he was freaking brutal. Oh my God. There was a part with the damn dog, and I was like, "You are not gonna do that." Remember the dog?
Oh yeah, and I did.
You did. It was an excellent book.
Yep. So here I got a picture. This is kind of what people say it looks like. What Rowland mentioned, a little kind of chupacabra looking thing that lives in the swamps of New Orleans. Now, Rowland, anything else that you came across in looking at this that you want to mention? This little one right here?
Not that one. It's funny because they don't have a lot of descriptions of him.
Yeah.
Some say he has spikes, some say he doesn't. So it leaves it open to the imagination, and you capitalized on that in your story because you took him and gave him your own twist, and I thought that was unique and brilliant. So great job.
Thanks, man. Now have you now this particular one, the Grunch Road Monster, like you said, it's not well known. But you're from kind of down that way. Did you ever hear about this growing up, or were you like me? I found out about this later in life.
I found out about it later in life too. They said it was, I looked up trying to find out where the Grunch Road was, and they say it was somewhere in kind of New Orleans east off a Chef Mentor Highway. But there's no direct, no place where Grunch Road is, which I was so disappointed about that. I was like, I'm going to find out where Grunch Road is, and I'm going to go look for it. Yeah. I found out about it maybe a couple of years ago.
Okay. Yeah, same here. It was, I think it was about 3 or 4 years ago that I first found out about it. Now, one of the things, and this will be a good segue into one of the other ones you want to talk about. One of the things I read about the Grunch Road Monster is that it was born from the testicles of the devil baby.
Yes, yes.
You had the male and female that were birthed from this devil baby. So tell us a little bit about the devil baby.
So that's a pretty, another one that's really not well known in New Orleans, but it's called the Devil Baby of Bourbon Street. I actually have a story about it. It's in so Aaron Beauregard, Daniel Wolpe, and Carver Pike and I used to do a podcast called Written in Red, and we wanted to do a collection together. So we all wrote stories about where we're from, and my story in that collection is called the Devil Baby of Bourbon Street. And you're right, that's where they said it. The Grunch came from the castration of, not castration, what do you call it? Where they cut the balls off?
Neutering.
No, that would be castration.
Okay.
Cutting off the balls, yeah.
Yeah, so when he cut out the little baby balls, and the balls fell to the ground, and one turned into a female Grunch, and the second one turned into a male Grunch. And Marie Laveau is actually heavily involved in the Devil Baby at Bourbon Street. And so they said that the grunge just tried to attack Marie Laveau, and I guess she got knocked out, and that's when they went out into the world, which I thought was pretty interesting. And I loved how these two legends have merged together into this crazy story, which is really unique and awesome. I had a lot of fun when I wrote The Devil Baby at Bourbon Street. What it is about is there's a socialite in New Orleans, and she wound up having a baby, and I'm not sure if the baby was cursed or a spell was cast on her, but the baby came out and it was all messed up and deformed. And once again, we go back to deformed babies, which y'all see is a thing for me. I do not like them. And so after the baby was born, the mom died and the dad ran off. So Marie Laveau took the baby, and she and Madame Delphine Lalaurie, I don't know if you know who she is, of course. Mm-hmm. So she is a serial killer from Louisiana, from New Orleans, who is rumored to have in her attic tortured and like slaves. They said that she did some horrible stuff to slaves. She was found out and then chased out of the city after her mansion was ramshacked. And then she fled to France with her family. So it's cool that those two legends, Grunge Road, Marie Laveau, The Devil Baby at Bourbon Street, and Delphine Lalaurie are all together connected somehow.
Yeah. For my birthday back in May, Bethany and I, she had never been to New Orleans. Mm-hmm. So I took her there, and she got to see Lalaurie's house. Mm-hmm. And the tour guide gave the whole backstory about what you had mentioned. Yeah. And so that was her first time getting to see that and tour New Orleans and everything.
That's so historic. Like to think that something like that happened in New Orleans a long time ago. It's just such it's just wild. And I love that's what New Orleans is made up of. Like all of these rich, crazy history, which makes it so special.
Yep. Anything you want to add to that, Bethany, that you remember from the tour when we did Laurie's house?
Honestly, no. What I remember, there were a lot of references to the Devil Baby. Oh, if you remember when we were.
Yeah, well, that tour guide. Yeah, I mean, the tour guide we had, which they know their stuff. Mm-hmm. He had mentioned the Devil Baby and mm-hmm. stuff in relation to that. So yeah, Bethany has heard those.
Oh, cool! That's awesome.
Yeah, and no, but even in the occult shops and whatnot that we went to, there was a lot of references to the Devil Baby.
Oh, cool! Yeah, a lot of people knew about it. That's awesome.
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of people outside of that little world that we operate in don't know much about it, but yeah, you go into some of those authentic occult shops that they have mm-hmm. in New Orleans, and they know all about this stuff, and they'll be able to mm-hmm. tell you and talk to you about those things, because I took her to some authentic ones that were cool. That were down there.
Yeah. Did you guys visit the graveyard where Marie Laveau is buried?
Yeah, I believe we. No,
I don't think we did. I did that tour several years ago, but I'm trying to think. No, we did. Mm-hmm. We did. He did take us there. We did. Did we actually get to go up to the grave? Mm. Do you remember?
Because it has.
Did we?
I want to say it was quick.
It was quick. We were running behind on time or something, but we did go there.
Oh, that's awesome. There was one time, so when I was younger, when I used to party in French Quarters, my favorite place was the Bourbon Pub to hang. And after my friend Scott and I, don't judge, this is when we did acid. I was like so young. We would walk home all the way from Bourbon Street to Gentilly Woods at like 4:00 in the morning. And we would go past the graveyard all the time. We would hop the fence of the graveyard because we were in 18 and 19 and it was creepy and fun. And on one of the graves one time, there was a bag. And I was like, ooh, what is in that bag? Because it looks kind of disgusting. And Scott was like, don't you dare touch it. So I got a stick and I was like, I'm going to see what's inside of it. I took the stick and I opened it. There was a freaking rooster inside of it with his head cut off. And there was candles around it. I was like, this is awesome. Scott was like, let's go. It's done. We're done.
Oh, man.
It was a nice story. But the funny thing, we would walk all the way, I know this is off the subject, through the freaking projects in New Orleans. Nobody bothered us. But that was a totally different time. We were like dressed in these weird clothes, and because I was always hanging with the little gothic kids. But that's a good memory I have.
Awesome, man. Yeah, that's a good story. Hey, Bud Files, welcome to the chat. Glad that you're hanging out with us tonight with author Rowland Bercy Jr. Now, I know you got one more that you had wanted to mention, and you want to take us back to the swamps with this one.
Yes. So that's the one. Well, actually, I have another story, not the one in the birds, but there's a story that I have coming out that was produced by Sentinel Creatives.
Okay.
And the story in that one is called Blood Bayou. And in that story, it's about the Ledich, which is also known as the Honey's Island Swamp Monster. Yes, look at him. He is fucking awesome. I love it. I'm glad you picked that picture. I saw that picture earlier, and I was like, I don't know if you like that one.
That was one of the best ones.
Yeah, I agree. I think so too. So in this story, they wind up having an encounter with the Ledich, but also not only that supernatural, but there's another legend called Foufoulette, and or the Cajun Fairy. I don't think we talked about this one, and it's kind of like a will-o'-the-wisp. I don't know if you know what that is, right?
Yeah.
It's like this ball of light that draws people into the swamp and gets them lost, and they wind up dying there. So in the story, the Ledich and the Foufoulette work together and dish out some well-deserved revenge on a group of bad kids.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is our swamp monster.
Yeah, and that is coming out. It's called the actual name of the anthology is Folkloric. So every story in there is revolving around folklore.
Nice.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun writing that.
Do you know a date on that?
I don't know, but I sent the Kickstarter is out. It's been I wrote that story.
Is that the link you sent me?
That's the Kickstarter.
Okay, let me post that in there.
Yeah.
All right.
But you can tell they went through it. They did a lot. For that Kickstarter, there's statuettes of like just different things. There's just so much stuff in that Kickstarter. I was like, wow, these guys went all out with this. So it's gonna be great.
Awesome. Yeah, I got the link right here. I'm gonna post it in the chat for everybody so they can take a look at it.
Yeah. The cover is amazing. I don't know if you saw the cover of it.
Yeah, I did. It is cool. That's
cool. Yeah.
Yep. So y'all check that out. Tales of Folklore. Y'all, that's something definitely folks who watch this show will eat up. Like we love all that kind of stuff. So a couple other urban legends, folklore that I wanted to mention. One of them y'all have heard me talk about before is right out here in my hometown Central is Frenchtown Road. And you heard of this one, Rowland?
I haven't heard of it. I mean, I saw you earlier when we talked about it. What is it?
So Frenchtown Road, supposedly there's all kinds of stuff that is supposed to happen back here. A lot of it has to do with occult stuff, Satanism. There's supposedly a witch who lived back at the end of the road who was involved with some very dark stuff. They supposedly found like human body parts down there. There's like an old Indian burial ground out there on this where Frenchtown Road is, and people have reported seeing strange, weird, cryptid type creatures out there. So you've got that combined with devil worship, and a lot of the stuff supposedly took place on this trestle. This is actually a picture that I took of the trestle, and here's one I took of the railroad tracks on top of it. Now, this thing here, Frenchtown Road, the urban legends for this one were ripe in the 80s with all the satanic panic.
No, oh yeah.
You had kids going out there and doing stuff and trying to scare themselves and spook themselves out. People have reported similar stuff that we all hear about urban legends about, you go park your car under the bridge and you turn it off and then it won't turn back on.
Ooh.
And then whenever it does turn back on, there's all little bloody handprints.
Oh, have you done it?
I have. I didn't experience anything out there. I did the car, turned it off, turned it on.
Yeah, nice.
Nothing.
You did it by yourself?
Yeah, I've been out there by myself.
Oh, hell no.
Actually, when we first started the Southern Discomfort show, I went and was doing an investigation out there and got broken up by the police because apparently it's a Breck Park now and you can't be out there after dark. And I didn't know that, but it was really cool. The officer there started telling me about some of the stuff he experienced out there, and as well as his sergeant. And he's like, I don't know what else everybody says. It's like, there's something to this place.
Oh, that's cool.
Out here. But this place has influenced a whole lot of my works. I've built a whole universe of stories off of this, which involves a girl named Theodosia and a demonic creature called the Tetramet. So I grew up with this urban legend, so it has had a huge impact on me and my writings.
Nice.
I know Bethany's heard me talk to death about it.
You have your stories are out about that now?
Yeah. I've got in the Southern Discomfort series of season 1, there is Call of the Tetramet and Tetramet Rising. Both have to do with it. In season 2, I'm going to have one that actually takes place out on Frenchtown Road called the Tetramet, and it takes place in the 80s.
Oh, nice.
And it's going to really hit on all of the occult and cult stuff that supposedly went down out there. I've got a whole book series called the Dreadful Death series that takes place in the 1800s, but the whole book series is kind of leading up to what's going to happen in the 80s. And so it's this whole universe that I've created with a huge backstory.
Oh, awesome.
In everything like that. So Frenchtown Road was definitely one that was influential for me. The other one I was going to bring up, I know you've heard of the Myrtles.
Yes. Oh, that's so beautiful.
Yeah, it is. Have you ever had a chance to go stay out there or visit it?
My sister, I am trying to get her to go both so bad, but she is scary as hell. She likes being scared, but she's scared to go stay there.
Yeah.
Have you done it before?
I've spent the night out there several times.
Oh, nice. I'm jealous.
And when we were out there one time, this was 2015, 2016, last time I was there. I took my kids and we spent the night, not in the house, but they've got cabins along there. And like they had just finished telling us the whole story about Chloe and the slaves and like some of the murders and the ghost of children that are supposedly at the area. So we're all asleep in the cabin. And at like 3:00 in the morning, we hear all of these kids laughing and playing outside. And my children wake up and they're like, Dad, why are they out there playing this late at night? They were like, what time is it? And I looked at my phone. It was like 3 a.m. I was like, it's 3 a.m. Like, I'm gonna go out there and tell these kids to be quiet and get back inside with their parents. Like, what are they doing out here? And so as I'm walking out of the cabin, I can hear children running along the side, and I'm like, oh, I got them. So I go out there to tell these kids to shut up and get back to their rooms, and there's nothing there.
Oh, that's freaking crazy.
Nothing at all. And I'm like, I walked past the other cabins, and I couldn't find kids anywhere.
That's awesome. That's such a great experience. I mean, I know it's creepy as hell, but I've never really had any kind of like anything happen to me that really creeped me out like that. But I would love to have. Well, I don't know if I would love it, but to be able to experience something like that.
Yeah, so that was my experience with the Myrtles. And of course, when I went back in the room, the kids are like, what happened? Wasn't? And I was like, I didn't say anything. I didn't want to scare them. I was like, yeah, the kids are gone.
Okay, yeah.
They're fine, because they were young at that time. Now they're old enough. They love this sort of stuff.
Nice.
But that was one I wanted to mention. Haven't let it play into any of my stories yet. It could one day. But the last one I wanted to bring up here, this is one of my favorites, and I know you've heard of this one, the Louisiana werewolf, the
Rougarou. Yes. It's awesome.
This, for those of you who aren't familiar, this is kind of our version of the werewolf. It is the Cajun werewolf.
Yeah.
It's got its origins from France. In a lot of the medieval times, there were different stories about this creature, and it ended up working its way down into Louisiana with all of the French Cajun influence. And there's a lot of different backgrounds with this one. Some it's voodoo curses, and then some legends are like the way that it's passed is like if you see a dog chasing you and you kill the dog, it could be a Rougarou, and if it turns back into a human when you kill it, and it looks at you and talks to you, then that curse is passed on to you.
Cool. Oh man, I didn't know that.
So yeah, there's several different backgrounds and stories to it. Some are more traditional werewolf, what we understand, and then some are kind of more like what I just told you. Some of them, the Rougarou looks like this. Some of them, it's more dog-like than man-like. So who knows?
Yeah,
who knows? Now, I will say this, that in Homa, Rougarou is big. They have like a Rougarou festival every year.
That's fun.
And this is where you got a lot of the stories that have developed. And I actually have a story coming out in Southern Discomfort Season 2 called The Rougarou that is based in Homa, Louisiana, that plays off of this type of legend and folklore. So lots of fun stuff, and we're just kind of scratching the surface.
Oh yeah, it goes so far. With the Rougarou story, because of the different legends and ways it came about, I'm sure you had the freedom to take it and really make it into something special, make it into something you wanted to do, and uniquely to you. So I'm excited to read that.
Yeah, man, I'm not sure which issue I'm gonna do. I'm thinking about making it one of the summer issues.
Oh, cool. Okay.
But yeah, I did something a little different. because sometimes werewolf stories can get monotonous.
Mm-hmm.
As much as I love werewolves,
Yeah.
Sometimes it gets old. So I wanted to do something to take the legend and do it a little differently. It's kind of like, it's very Tales from the Crypt like. I'll just put it that way.
Nice.
So that'll be coming. Okay, PW, you had a question. Let me scroll up here and see. Hey, Anita, welcome to the chat.
Hi, Anita.
PW, am I missing it?
I'm glad you're okay, Triple X lady.
Actually, I do have a question for both of you.
Yes.
Was there ever, okay, aside from the urban legends, has there ever been a particular murder? Because that was also something that was mentioned, especially in New Orleans, along with the ghosts, were the murders and the crime. Was there a particular set of murders, excuse me, or crimes that have ever influenced you or been in your work or just still inspire you?
I can't say murders for me. There were a lot that happened out there. Jesus, what was it? The Axeman? I don't know if you heard that.
Yeah.
You heard that one? Yeah, that was a good one. And I could see that being an inspiration. They used that one in American Horror Story, which I thought
they did.
Decent. But yeah, no murders. It actually inspired anything that I've written so far.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I found PW's question. She is for you, Rowland. She wanted to know, could you give her any advice on how to be a better writer? So writing advice. Sure,
I'll try. You know what I've kind of recently learned for me is outlining helps. I'm a slow writer. I write like extremely slow. But I did a story. I can't remember which story it was for an anthology. And I actually wrote out like beginning, middle, and end. So when I outlined it, I had more of a guide. So I think that's a good thing to do is kind of outline your story, even sometimes chapter by chapter. I want this to happen in that chapter, that to happen in the next chapter. So I think that helps make it a little easier, and that might be something that might work for you in the future when you do write.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can agree with that because I've tried it both ways.
Yeah.
Some of my stories work well, spontaneous, but like the current novel that I am writing, because I'm a slow writer as well. So when you were saying that, I was like, oh, I feel that. But my current one, I went and I outlined chapter by chapter everything that I wanted to happen. And for me, I think that helps you with your pacing as well. And it keeps it because you can see like, oh, well, that's going to slow it down, or this really doesn't have anything to do adding to the story. But I've noticed that I've been working on this particular book since I think I started at the beginning of November. And because I had it outlined, I should finish it by the end of the month. So you're having like a 75,000 word book written in 3 months, maybe 3.5.
Oh my God. 75.
So that is night, but Rowland, that's night and day different for me.
Really?
Because when I don't outline,
I
mean, it'll take me 1.5 years to write a book, to write one novel.
Yeah.
So that works for me.
Yeah.
And especially if I'm doing something with a lot of historical detail and you've got an intricate plot.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The outlining definitely helps me.
Oh, one more thing is characters. Like you get when they have like so many characters in a book. Mine have luckily been kept to a minimum. But when it gets really detailed and there's a lot of characters, maybe having character sheets, like describing the character, their personality, how they relate to the story, that might also be something that's helpful, is to make character sheets for your parties involved in the story.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Kind of like their own personal bio.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Yeah. I have another one that I'm trying that on. This is my first time doing it. I'm trying that. When I started, I've kind of put to the side to work on this other one, but it was my first time to try that. What you're suggesting is doing a bio for each character, and I really liked it. It was something different.
Yeah, because sometimes it gets hard to keep everybody in your mind when there's so many people involved. Like I've done that before, where maybe even I've changed names, but because this name sounds so close to this that it wound up changing to that. So thank God for editing and proofreading, because I have made some mistakes in the past.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I hope that helps you out, PW. See if make sure I didn't miss any more questions, because I had to scroll way back. PW, I'm sorry I missed that one when you asked it so long ago.
Okay, I have a question for both of you, because you're both Louisiana natives, yes?
You're welcome.
Yep.
All right. So my understanding is, especially with voodoo and hoodoo, to find the legitimate stuff is actually extremely difficult. Like, you're not going to find like the true stuff online, and even to research it, you're going to have a lot of people, they're making it up.
Mm-hmm.
Have either of you ever had any personal experience or known people who actually practice it? And has any of that inspired any of your guys' work?
I'll let you answer.
I living down here, in my past, I have run into people who may not have practiced it themselves, but had a family member or a grandmother that was involved with it and had ties to it. And it was a mixed bag, in the sense that some of the people that I met that had some sort of family ties with it were absolutely terrified of it.
Why?
Just because I remember one person told me about this experience where they were at their grandmother's house, and she was a voodoo practitioner and was like heavy into it, and they talked about just feeling this oppressive spirit there, seeing dark shadows move across the room, hearing scratching noises, objects being in one place at one point and then not in another. And so their experience with it was really bad. But then there's been other people I know, because it is a mixture of kind of the Haitian spiritualism with Catholicism, that they see it in a very positive light. So it almost, it's kind of two extremes from what I've experienced in the people that I have known. Now, I do know from the people that have ties with it to where they had a good experience with it, and in their viewpoint, it's safe and good as long as you don't use it with or for sinister purposes.
Yeah, I think that applies to a lot of things. I mean, it's all about what you put into it. There's people who can use it for good, or people who can use it for evil. So I don't think I've had any personal experiences or known anybody. My great grandmother was born with a veil. This is not related to voodoo or anything like that, or hoodoo. But they said people were born with a veil could see things, spirits maybe, which is Pretty interesting. She said she used to see somebody or feel somebody, and they would come sit on the end of her bed. There was another time where we were in my grandmother's house. It was an old house. And my mom said I ran up to her and I was tugging her on the leg, bothering her. And she was in the middle of a conversation. So she was like, just kind of shooed me away. So I run off, I run into the closet. And in the closet, when they bought the house, there were symbols. And she said, they went, and she was like, get out of the closet. She's coming to get me out of the closet. I was never there. And I walked up behind her and tapped her on her leg. So I haven't had any like personal experiences as far as voodoo or hoodoo related, but I do have some family members who were special, should I say? I don't know.
Yeah. You're talking about something, and it reminded me of something, but then I totally forgot because I was really listening to what you said. Maybe it'll come back to me. But no, I mean, as far as my stories, there's a little bit. Like I had one that was a YouTube story for Godless Reads called Bone Box. And it's I know, Bethany, you remember that story. It's a little bit of voodoo mixed with kind of the witchcraft I made up for the whole Tetramet universe. And the story is about this young girl, Navia. It takes place in New Orleans on the 9th Ward, and she's skipping school because she really has this interest in the real voodoo, like the real stuff. And she got sick of all the touristy type of fake stuff in New Orleans. So she found out where a real practitioner lives. And she goes to this abandoned building in the 9th Ward and finds her occult shop. And she gets this box made of bones. And she brings it home with her. But the voodoo practitioner lady warns her. She says, this is not voodoo. This is something much darker. And warns her about it, but she ends up taking it anyway. But that's as far as I've ever gotten with voodoo so far in my writing. That may change one day, but yeah, that's kind of about it.
The Devil Baby at Bourbon Street has some voodoo in it. The kind of story is about a woman who wanted to get pregnant. She was unable to get pregnant. Much like your lady, she went to somebody and found a real practitioner and asked for somehow to have a baby. And so that's how the Devil Baby is born in this story. And I included a lot of there's a lot of I can't remember what they're called, but there's different spirits in voodoo. One is called Jean. I can't remember his name, but he has one leg. I'll text you to what they are called, but different types of entities or people that you can call on to assist you. So that made it into the story, The Devil Baby of Bourbon Street, which was voodoo related, definitely.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Absolutely. Good question, Bethany.
Thank you.
Anybody in chat? Any questions about any of the urban legends that we have talked about, or any more questions for Rowland and about his writings? Go ahead and pop them in there. I'm going to post all of the links for his books again in the chat before we kind of wrap things up, just so that y'all can have those, because I know I posted them a lot earlier. So I'm gonna go dark for a minute.
Yeah, please do, because I'm really interested in the Devil Baby story. Actually, Rowland, okay, so what are you working on now? Like, what What's coming next?
Yeah, this is actually another Louisiana legend. It's I'm altering it to be horror. But have you heard of the dueling oaks in Louisiana, in New Orleans?
The name's familiar. Can you please refresh my memory?
So in New Orleans, there are these two huge oak trees in City Park. And between like 1834 and 1844, they said a lot of duels were fought underneath these two trees. I don't know why that particular area was chosen. But there was a quote that one lady said, "It would not be surprising if the very violets of the earth bloomed red from this soaked ground," referring to how many duels were fought and how many people lost their lives there. So there's two huge oaks. One of them was uprooted in a storm in sometime in the 1940s. So there's only one left. So I'm actually working on a story called The Dryad of Dueling Oaks. So it's going to make a dryad as a spirit, a nature spirit, kind of. So there's this dryad living in this one lone oak. And her sister used to live in the other one, but then her sister perished when the tree was uprooted. So she wants to bring her sister back. Dryads are usually peaceful, but not peaceful, but they're like creatures of nature. So they're not good, they're not bad. They just are, because nature is both. So that's the story I'm working on, where I think it mixes that legend or that history in New Orleans, the dueling oaks, again, with another love I have, major part of fantasy, which I love fantasy. Dryads are part of the D&D universe. So I'm, again, combining things I love: horror, fantasy, and Louisiana legends, or Louisiana folklore.
Excellent, man.
Thank you.
Candace Nola, I see you on the Twitter side. Hello.
Yes. Hey, Candace.
Y'all say hey to Candace. As you know, I have been mentioning her on the show the past several weeks as we've talked about our haunted locations and have been posting the articles that she has done. So she's watching on Twitter. So I know, Candace, you can't see everybody in chat on the YouTube side, but y'all all tell Candace hello.
Hello. She's amazing. Candace is got this story. She's a beautiful storyteller. Her books are amazing. She's a great editor. She's a great friend in person, just in general. So I'm happy to call her my friend. And I worked with Candace, and she's actually inspired me and motivated me. So I just got to tell Candace, thank you, and that I love you, and I think you're amazing.
Oh, yeah. Candace is just all around fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
So much love for Candace.
Yeah. I mean, she's so supportive of everybody in the community.
Yeah.
And not only that, like her storytelling is next level. So do yourself a favor. Oh, hey, BFF. If you haven't, check out Candace, because you're going to love her stories. They don't fail to they don't disappoint. So.
Yep. And I know Candace, for those of you who kind of want to dip your toes into it, she's got some stuff on Godless.
Oh, yeah.
So you can find Candace, you can find her stuff on Godless. I know y'all hear me talk out the rear all the time about Godless because my Southern Discomfort series, but that is a good place. Godless is a great place to go dip your toe in the water of a lot of these authors. And Candace is one of them. She's got some stuff on there. So, you want to dip your toe in the water, go on there and grab one of her books off of Godless. It's a great way. The stuff on there is all usually discounted. So you can just get a whole smorgasbord of different authors that you want to try.
Yeah, it's a perfect place just to get, like you said, everything is discounted. It's like, if you don't know and you haven't ever tried the genre before, great place to get your feet wet and pick out a few and pick them up for 50 cents or $1 and check them out. Yeah,
and Godless, like it's everything horror. Like it's not just one type of horror. Like it's all kind. I mean, there's extreme stuff on there. There's supernatural. You can find it. It's got stuff on there for everybody.
Awesome. Allie asked if anybody watched A Ghost Story. I haven't, but now I'm going to watch it because it sounds like it might be pretty good. I was just looking at our chat.
A Ghost Story. That is ringing a bell, Allie. I'm trying to think if
it does sound familiar.
Doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'll have to look it up, Allie, and check that one out.
Awesome.
For sure. Anybody in chat, if y'all have got any more questions for Mr. Rowland, go ahead and ask away. Bethany, you got anything while we're waiting on, see if anybody's got something in chat?
So when you were talking about, outline of characters, are any of the people in your actual life that you've put as characters in your story? And if so, who?
Yeah.
Can't make him give away who. Get him in trouble.
He asked. It's fair game. You asked. He doesn't have to answer. Rowland, you don't have to answer, but I'm allowed to ask.
It's fun. I put all of my family in it. I killed my sister. I killed my cousin. Actually, in Birds, the 4 main characters is Raquel, that's my sister. Robert, that's her boyfriend. Karen, that's my cousin. And David, that's her husband. And then there's 2 more characters in it, Joan and Danielle. Those are my cousins. So, yeah, I've actually killed off quite a few of my family members.
Kill them all.
Now, do they know that? Or
I did, yeah. I sent them a text message. I was like, you guys are all famous and you're going to die.
All right, we got some more questions coming in for you, Rowland. PW wants to know, have you ever written anything with demons or about demons in any of your stuff?
Yes. The Devil Baby Bourbon Street has demon in it. Actually, there's a line in the Devil Baby of Bourbon Street. I don't know how to say this, but the demon was having sex with the woman. She didn't know if he was a demon, and he put his demon baby batter inside of her. That's what I call it. Demon baby batter. So yeah.
All right. Yeah, PW, you'd like that. That sounds definitely something we would all be into.
It was interesting.
Yeah, Allie, I'm gonna check that out and see that ghost story. Candace has a question for you, Rowland. What is your favorite story you've written to date?
Oh, that's hard. I was telling you, it's like the smaller ones, just like Birds now has been pushed up to the top of my list because I don't know, it was just so much fun writing it. And then also My Supernatural Ex-Girlfriend, because it combines elements of fantasy and horror, which I love. So I think that's 2 of my favorites right now.
Okay. Allie has a question. What do you see for your future in writing?
I see one of my books being adapted for the big screen. I'm going big, dude. Shit. Let's make Birds into the next Alfred Hitchcock.
Hey, dude, you got a chance for that as much as they're doing remakes right now.
I know, right? Yes. And
we should push for that.
I don't know who to talk to, but I damn sure will. And most of the remakes suck. So mine is
so maybe this one will be good.
Fun. Yeah, that's right. Do it.
God, please not another Exorcist remake.
Oh, it was horrible. Oh, Jesus. I didn't like it at all.
Yeah, Dustin, I am going to add you as a character. You're going to be in one of my Johnny stories, one of my Johnny Walker Ranger books. You will be part of the Bruce Campbells. Candace has another one for you, Rowland. What is your favorite part of your writing process?
Cover art. I don't know. I have so much fun with my cover art. Like just picking out what I want the scene to be and just having it created and then going back and doing revisions. So I love creating or getting cover art created. I don't do it myself because I'm not that talented. But working with people and doing cover art is a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's so cool. Like seeing the stuff that it's like your story in picture form almost.
Yeah, that's so much fun. Thank you, Paranormal Witch. I'm dreaming really big. I'm gonna make it happen. Not only am I gonna dream it, I'm gonna make it happen.
Yep. Let's
put that out there.
Do it, man. Absolutely.
Right.
Triple X Lady asked, "Do you think that you ever give yourself nightmares with what you write?"
No, I haven't actually. I don't think I've ever dreamt about anything that I've written, like not yet. Yeah, no, I haven't done that yet. Maybe that's my next goal, to make myself so disturbed and scared by what I write is that I have nightmares about it.
There you go. that should be your goal, right? Not only just having a story adapted for the screen, but give your own self nightmares.
Yeah, I think that's what we should all aim for in the community, in the genre. It's like to make the most disturbing, most interesting, and thought-provoking stories that we give ourselves nightmares.
Yeah, it's like if you can disturb yourself, you're going to get your readers, man.
Yes.
Absolutely. Dustin said he wanted to be in one of your movies and do a creepy clown voice for it.
I love it. Bethany, would you like to be a creepy clown in one of my movies too?
Bethany.
Well, I guess.
Oh, she said yeah.
Actually, all right.
She'd
So
scare herself.
I would not look in a mirror. Okay, I really wouldn't.
I tell you what would happen. She would dress up as a creepy clown and she'd forget about it. And then she'd walk past a mirror and look at herself and then give herself a heart attack.
What is it about clowns that scare you, Bethany?
I think it's because I've actually always been more afraid of something that has a huge fake smile.
Okay.
It just something about a smile. And when you know it's evil or wrong, it scares me.
I like that. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. It's
That's-
deceit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Deceit scares me. Especially if you don't catch it in time until it's like right there.
Like it. Okay.
That's why clowns scare me.
Well, I think you should face your fear.
Okay, that just looks like, oh, jeez.
There we go.
Worse.
That's me dressed up as a creepy clown, Roland.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, man.
She hates that picture.
Bethany,
I do.
you should dress up to face your fears. One Halloween, you should dress up as creepiest clown you possibly can, with the biggest, craziest smile on your face. That way you can face this and get past it.
I would probably. I should, and I would like to, because I don't want this fear to roll me, but I would probably cry while I did it.
I mean, I'm good with this fear. It's fun.
Nice.
It's fun to mess with her.
Of course it is. All right, but seriously, what scares the two of you? There has to be something, and don't say nothing.
I was just about to ask that. Yeah. I told earlier, for me, anything small. The doll from Trilogy of Terror, even though some people think it is hilarious, I think it is the most freakiest, creepiest thing in the world. I just don't like small things because they can get under your bed and really fuck you up.
Oh, yeah, and if they're tiny enough, they can get inside of your skin.
Oh, yeah.
Inside of a pore in your skin.
Jeez. Hey, that might be a good book.
I would actually think about it.
There you go. For me, I hate tight spaces. I got claustrophobia because I got stuck in an elevator one time, and that's what did it for me. So, claustrophobic.
Not funny, Dustin.
What is that, Bethany? What is that I hear? A ringing in my ear.
That's kind of scary to me, actually.
See? It is. It's
That's actually
creepy.
scary to me.
It is. It's creepy.
I was gonna ask about unicorns because I saw one of the clowns was sitting on a unicorn. Are you scared of unicorns
No.
too?
So unicorns is kind of the thing they pick on me about, right? So nobody is off limits and being made fun of in this on this show.
She hates anything cute and fluffy and pink.
I'm okay with unicorns as long as they will use their horn to kill things or to kill people, but I don't want a nice unicorn. Like, it has to be mean and violent. So that's
that's awesome.
That's me. That's overweight me, who's lived in my mom's basement for 40 years. There's anime me.
Oh, that's adorable.
It is adorable.
And I love how it's giving the finger.
That's me. Yep.
Oh, little grumpy.
Wait, speaking of unicorns killing people, did you see Cabin in the Woods?
Yeah.
I love that movie.
Yes.
That's a fucking awesome
I do
movie.
too.
That's like
a great one.
They did such a good job. Not from the CGI to just everything. Everything about that movie is pure gold to me.
Yes. If y'all haven't seen Cabin in the Woods,
please
check
do
it
yourself
out.
a favor. Yeah.
Yeah, Allie, for sure, that one.
Yeah. No, I just wanted to hop on real quick to say thank you to Rowland for being a guest and to give you a VIP lifetime pass. Anytime you want to come up and visit and be a guest, you're more than welcome to.
Hey, this is so much fun. I just like it went off without a hitch. Like, everything just flowed. The conversations have been amazing. I'm so appreciative for the people who jumped in on the chat and been asking questions. I'm normally really shy. I think that goes for a lot of people in our community. They're very shy. But to be able to talk to people about what I love and for it to be so well received and I feel so much love from everybody, I just can't say thank you enough. So I appreciate you guys.
Don't be shy.
Yeah, I got the audio clip, Dustin. Thank you so much.
Well, man, we're glad that you felt at home here. You know, that's the type of environment we try to create here. Just a welcoming, friendly one. So I'm really glad that you felt comfortable here and
great.
Everything went good, man. That's great. So yeah, anytime you got something coming out, let me know. And we'll either get you on, or if we can't, then I'll definitely post links in the chat like we do whenever it drops. But yeah, man.
Looking forward to it. Thank you.
Let me see if we got any.
Thank you, Triple X.
Questions.
And just to let everybody know, yes, that is my actual voice. I do not need a filter or anything like that. I am very good at creepy voice.
That's really good.
He's not auto-tuned.
Thank you, Allie.
Yes, thank you, Dustin. Okay, actually, I have a question for you, Rowland, and for you, Zeke, if you want, but especially for you, Rowland. Is there anything? Okay, is there a local legend of New Orleans or a certain story that is popular but makes you go, I don't get it? Like, I don't know why it's popular. I don't know why people think it's creepy, because it's not. At least not to you. Same with you, Zeke.
Yeah. A local legend that I just don't think. I don't have an answer for that. I really don't. Yeah.
Okay, or even in the state. Either. Okay, actually, any urban legend or any sort of like horror trope that makes you go, I don't get it.
Yes, if I could get that one.
Okay.
Ezekiel, you mentioned it earlier. Werewolves, they're just so overdone. I'm over werewolves. When you put a twist on it and you make it unique and interesting. I don't know if you ever saw Dog Soldiers.
Oh, yes.
That's a freaking awesome werewolf movie.
Yep.
But the other ones that I see and I hear and I've read, and I haven't read any, that were just about typical werewolves, I'm like, it's kind of boring.
Yeah, werewolves and vampires, like you got to have really something different to bring to the table nowadays, because it's been so much.
Yeah.
The same with possession, demon possession movies. Like, I mean, I write about it. It is one of my favorite things to write, but with each story, there has to be, you need to be bringing something different to the table. You can't just have somebody does something dumb, gets possessed with a demon, and then they fight to cast it out. Like,
it's been done so many times.
So
that's a good question.
Stuff like that. See, Allie's mentioning a Wendigo.
Okay, here's another question. What is the hardest thing that tries you can't write about it? Just, you can't get a good handle on it.
That's a good question, Bethany.
Thank you.
I guess I haven't been brave enough to try anything that I can't get a handle on. Like, all the stuff that I've written so far was stuff that I was interested in, stuff I wanted to write about. But I've never stepped outside of that, I won't say comfort zone, but of what I like to be able to try and tackle a subject like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you guys did talk about one of your legends that kind of inspired me for an idea to either you or Zeke to write about. Let me go find it, because Allie even chuckled and said, Justin, that it looks like a fleshlight from hell. And we could incorporate that into somehow a gruesome horror novel.
Okay, is it just me, or does that creature kind of look like it's about to throw up?
He does.
The way that it's hunched, it looks like a dog getting ready to puke.
Well, the Grunch Road monster is kind of like Chupacabra-ish, so maybe he got a hold of some bad meat,
some bad goat.
It's the way it's hunched. It reminds me of a dog getting ready to yak. So, yeah.
We know how much you love vomiting.
Stop.
So picture it now. You know, you have like a little bit of a twisted one, like, you know, Night of the Blood Come and all that, but have it this one to where, you know, these perverted coming of age 18-year-olds going into their first pea shop or something, and you know, and they're trying to be silly and act all goofy and daring to get like this wicked certain type of light, and it turns out to be a cursed object, and that's what it turns into once it's, you know, something, I don't know, this something really wicked.
Yeah, I see that. I like that. Hey, Allie was asking, has New Orleans changed since Katrina? Yeah, it has, but luckily it still has that charm. Like, certain parts, if you still go back to it, you'll see like a lot of places hasn't been rebuilt, but that's mostly in the neighborhoods. Thank God the French quarters were not destroyed, because had they been destroyed, New Orleans would not be the same place.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay, here's one. Have you ever been to a location that is an actual, like, where someone has been 86'd unalived, or what's the very creepiest one, if you have the creepiest one that you've been to, that just gives you chills down your spine?
Ooh, I have never, because I don't know. I could read about this kind of stuff all day long. I could watch it on TV. I could listen to it, but actually going to a place where somebody has been would be so disturbing to me. I think it's another fear of mine, is actually walking up on a body in the street. I used to walk through this ditch when I used to walk home from the club, and it was this huge ditch. And I always think, if I see a dead body in here, I'm gonna freak the hell out. So I have never been to a place where anybody was 86th.
Hey, Zeke, you need to bring him along sometime to Kentucky when we go and do one of our.
Actually, you guys say I'm part of. I'm welcome to the family. I was like, you guys do investigations. I would love to tag along to one of those. But absolutely, I'm sure you get that all the time. That would be amazing.
Now, next time you're down this way, holler at me, because I got some places I want to go to down here and do some investigations at.
So, I might be coming from Mardi Gras, but that's a little close because that's early February. But yeah, I'm always home. So next time I go home, I would love to get together and just talk and have a good time.
Absolutely. Hit me up, man.
For sure. You're welcome, Allie.
We use the SLS. Allie, I know I've been toying with that. And I know we've used it on some of our investigations.
Actually, I do have another question for Rowland.
Hi, I'm back. I had to cut my fan on. It's hot.
I understand. So now you were born and raised in New Orleans, yes?
Yes.
And you still live in New Orleans?
Unfortunately, I'm in Houston, Texas now.
Okay.
Yeah, not too far. 6 hours away.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
Yeah.
Has the feel of New Orleans changed, or has like the vibe changed from the time that you grew up there to now when you go visit, or is it still the same?
It's still the same. And I think that's so comforting, like having that familiarity. I messed up that word. But when I go home, I feel the same pride that I felt when I was 18 and 19 years old living in New Orleans. So it has not changed. And I love that about New Orleans. So consistent. It's full of life and vibrancy and lore that I don't think it will ever change.
And Candace is telling you good night, everybody.
Good night,
Candace.
And Rowland.
Thanks for stopping by, Candace.
And I just noticed something, Zeke, not to interrupt,
Go ahead.
but I think it's so cool. They got it fixed now where you can actually see Twitter comments in the chat now.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, I saw it, but you're seeing it on the YouTube side?
No, you won't see it. Only us that are on panel can see it. Yeah.
Yeah. I saw that. Now, for whatever reason, I don't know if it's a Facebook thing. Like when people comment on Facebook, it's still not coming through.
Yeah.
So, but I'm glad to see Twitter's working.
Yeah.
All right. We are hitting up on the 2-hour mark, so
it's crazy.
We're gonna go ahead and start shutting things down here. Lenny, last minute questions or comments for Rowland?
Oh, paranormal! You're only 2 hours away. Send me a message on Facebook. Maybe we can meet one day.
Let's see.
Actually, so is the Devil Baby what's the one book that you kind of recommend for people who are going to start reading your books? What's the one book that you're like, okay, to get you a good taste of my work, this is what I recommend?
I'm going to go with Dr. Parasite. It's my longest story to date, and it's not even that long. You could probably read it in 2 days. But parasites are freaking nasty and creepy. There was this Reddit about a guy who would go to soup bars and salad bars and take parasite eggs and sprinkle it onto the salad. And he would infect people with parasites. And that's actually how that story came about, because I read that Reddit and I was like, that's fucking disgusting. So I wanted to write a story about it. So Dr. Parasite would be a great place to start.
Yep. I just posted the link in there.
Thank you. Allie,
And
I do not have a YouTube channel. I'm not that skilled.
after the show, don't go anywhere quite yet because we do what's called an after party. I'm gonna give you my information too. So
Okay, all right.
Allie, what
she
question you want
wants
me
you
to answer?
the same one that Roland just answered.
Oh, what to start off with?
Yeah.
The best place would be Godless and any of my Southern Discomfort stories. It runs the gamut of horror. Like there's a story for everybody. If you like supernatural, if you like demonic, if you like extreme, if you like body horror, if you like psychological horror, it's all there in Southern Discomfort. So you can get those issues for only 50 cents off of Godless. So you just go on there and look and see which Southern Discomfort story might be your flavor, whatever you're in the mood for, and just kind of go from there.
Awesome. Which one of your stories is about body horror? I know we're running late, and then
my story, One Flesh, is a body horror story, and that one's actually Bethany's favorite that I've written.
It is good. You will like it.
Body horror is so disturbing, so I'm going to check that out. Do you have audiobooks, Ezekiel?
No, I've still been trying to get one done for my Johnny Walker Ranger. I finally found somebody's voice that captures the book well, so I'm looking at pricing and stuff like that. The publisher who did my Dreadful Death series, they don't do audiobooks. The publisher who did one of my werewolf novellas didn't do audiobooks for that one. Now I've got a book coming out in March through D&T Publishing, and I think D&T does audio.
With Dawn, I believe they do. Yes.
Yeah. So there may be definitely one coming out for this this new one. Which that one coming out, it takes place on Frenchtown Road. It's called the Tetramet Tapes, and it's a coming of age found footage style horror.
Nice. What is the Tetramet? Just curious. Is it a demon?
Was if you go back in the Garden of Eden and you have that cherub with the flaming sword that guards the tree of life, he is that cherub who has rebelled and has turned into an entity that has the head of a goat skull, the body of like a ape kind of feline, and his tail is a serpent, and he has these big dragon-like wings.
Oh, badass! I love
and
that.
He devours soul, but he also has the power to turn the dead into actual demons.
Ooh.
He is the main entity that the Frenchtown Road cult worships.
Oh.
And so the connection with the universe is that it goes all the way back to the Garden of Eden. So I've got an origin story of the Tetramet called The Gospel of Lilith that I'm trying to find a publisher for. And then I've got my whole Theodosia Dreadful Death, which really shows the origin. She is like the main head cult leader that starts it all back in the 1800s.
Wow.
So it's this whole backstory universe, but that's basically what the Tetramet is. He's this devilish entity that the cult worships.
I love that. Nice. I'm gonna check it out. Okay.
Let me see if I missed anything in chat. All right, I think we have caught up with answering everybody's questions. So thank you, everybody in chat, for hanging out with us tonight. Thank you all for welcoming Rowland. Thank you for all the great questions and just making him feel loved and right at home. Be sure to check out Haunted Highways, Dark Tides from Crystal Lake Publishing. The paperback is out now. The Kindle drops Friday. That has his story Birds in it that he was telling us about. I also included all of his other links there in the chat for you to be able to go back and look at those and kind of see what you want to start off with and getting into Rowland's horror writing. So that's all there for y'all to browse through and see where you want to start with him. Dustin, Bethany, y'all got anything? Say to Rowland.
Triple X. I was just saying.
No, just that I'm very proud of both of you all. I know this was his first time. He did amazing.
Thank you.
He knocked it out of the park. And Zeke, you're getting so good at these. I'm very proud of you. You've come a long way since you started doing the shows. And
thanks, buddy.
I'm very proud of you.
That's awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, no, Rowland, I look forward to reading your work. Actually, you were really very charming and whatnot. So nobody would ever guess, honestly, that you were shy.
No.
Yeah.
You flowed really well at this. So
thank you. You guys are amazing, and everybody in chat. Allie, thank you. She said I feel like I'm always here. Thank you so much. You guys have been amazing. This has been special and unique, and I like it. I can't wait to hopefully come on again. I know you said I have an open invitation, so I look forward to it.
Absolutely. So everybody in chat. Sorry, Dustin, go ahead. I thought I heard something coming out of there. But we'll be back Thursday night for our Immortal Shadows show. I'll be talking about the 6th trumpet in the book of Revelation. Then Friday, we will be doing Hauntings and Beyond. Dustin will be spearheading that, and we'll be talking about the Thomas House experience. And then next Tuesday, hopefully, I don't know, Dustin, I'm supposed to be out of town for some work training. I'm going to try to see if I can be able to swing the shows, but if I can, we will be back. I really want to try, because that's going to be our wrap up for the study that we're doing on H.P. Lovecraft and his writings in the Necronomicon. But everybody, thank y'all for the love. Thank you for the support. Thank y'all for showing Rowland the love and welcoming and being just awesome like I knew y'all would be. Thank y'all very much. Everybody stick around. You know that we like to play a inspirational video that Dustin has made. We do it at the end of every show just to leave you on a note of encouragement. So again, thank you everybody, and we hope to see you back here Thursday night.
Thank you.
Is this what giving up feels like? I don't know. Tell me, have I lost my mind? Nowhere to go, so far from home. Is this what giving up feels like? I don't know. Tell me, have I lost my mind? So I pray